the second section of the 5.1, or 6.1 rather. 6.1 notes. That is recording, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay. Writing fractions as decimals, for your book reference, is off of page 274. You don't need it right now, but we're going to go through this. Now, I know that you all have learned how to do division. You've learned how to use division. A couple people earlier said that they learned in 3rd grade. A couple people said 4th. A couple people said 5th. The bottom line is this. You know, okay, so 2nd, good. You know how to do these things. You know your facts, but it's going to be a little bit different. Okay, it's going to be a little bit different, but we're going to get to it. So the beginning's like, I know, but you'll get to it. So we have method 1, kicking it old school, going dividing using a paper and pencil. So we'll go here. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to zoom in. Okay, so we have 63 divided by 3. Okay, we use the... Also, if you want to do a review on how to divide, it was more extensive last year. In 6th grade, Mr. Keller has it linked on his website. If you go to Mr. Keller's website, there's a spot that is right here. Let's see, hopefully this works. Where is it? Yeah, here. Long division. Okay, if you click on those there, it'll give you a PowerPoint that talks about long division, but we don't have time for that. Because not because of bronchitis, but because this is 7th grade. Okay? A couple people got that reference. Okay. So we have 63. We go, there are two... Ooh. For some reason I wanted to go all the way down there when I did that. So is this one that we're at? Yeah. So we have 3 goes into 6 twice. 6 here. Bring that down. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 minus 6 is 0. Bring down the 3. 3 goes into 3 one time. Okay, then 3 minus 3 is 0. We're good. Yes? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to get this out of here. Clearing my throat a lot. Okay, I'm just pushing this over here so it's out of the way. Now with this guy, says 63 is the dividend, the number being divided. Or as you would like to say in your speech, the number being divided by something. The divisor is the number doing the dividing. Okay? It is this many groups. How many? 3 groups. In this situation, it is putting 63 things into 3 groups. So the dividend divided by the divisor equals the quotient. I would like you to create a box around that. That's an important thing. That's an important thing. I have a feeling this might disappear because it thinks I'm trying to scratch it and erase it. No, good. Ha ha ha. So the dividend divided by the divisor equals a quotient. Method 2, divide by a calculator. Everybody, get out your calculators. Yeah. Just kidding. We're not using a calculator in this class. Okay, that's enough. I tried to play a trick on you, and it worked. You guys look so happy for a minute there. No, we're not using a calculator. Yes?
You don't live in a sheet of paper, so why would you do that to us?
I know, right? So it says here, we will not be using a calculator. You know what? This is a sad face, but I'm just going to...
Make it a smiley face?
You're going to make like the biggest smiley face ever.
What the heck is that?
Let's do this.
Why can't it be like a troll face?
Can you draw a troll face?
Yeah, but not very fast.
No one can draw a troll face though.
Is there any scripts?
From Dragon Ball Z.
Okay, so now we have something else. So we will not be using a calculator, so we're going to do this longhand. So we have 162 divided by 3. Yes, sir?
Is it possible to do lattice method of division?
We will not use the word
Yeah, I know, but like...
lattice method anymore.
Is there a way?
I wouldn't know because I learned how to do it the more efficient way. The more efficient way. Yes. I wouldn't know. I never learned that. That started at a younger age when I wasn't, for your age group, after I was done with school, or after I was done with all that stuff, and then the time when I didn't teach math for a little bit. And also I didn't ever teach third grade math, and that's what that is. So, question about this? We need to keep going. Okay. So we have, what's the first step that we do? Quick. Yes, Cam? Say 3 can go into 1, so it doesn't. I'm going to put a 0 there. Okay, so we have 0 there, and since we're in 7th grade, you don't have to write the 0 there, because we've done this before. So since it didn't go into that 1, what does it go into, Cam? 15. It goes into 16, and you're fully correct. 5 times 3 is 15. We subtract those 2. We bring down this 2. Okay. How many times does 3 go into that? Let's see, Jake. 4. Okay. It's 4. 3 times 4 is 12 minus 0. Okay, so it's just 54. Then we have this one. 204. 5. Okay. 5 times 4 is 20. Ooh. So it's 0. Okay, so 0 times 5. Uh-oh. But here's the thing. You just said remainder. Here's remainder. You are not going to be using remainders in this class anymore. Because just like the lattice method, you are now smarter than using remainders. You now have more abilities, and we are going to create that ability today. Okay. Sam, question about this? Okay. About this? Okay.
Can we do the decimals with the remainder?
Yes, we are going to be using decimals. Beautiful. So, do all the numbers go in evenly? No, they don't. If the answer is no, what is formed? Max. What is formed? A 0? Jace? A decimal. A decimal. And we're going to get into, I'm going to do it twice on this so you can see what happens. Here's what happens. You are going to create a decimal in both the quotient and also the dividend. So I created a dot there, a dot there. Now, this is a part where those of you who have really rough handwriting, you're really going to want to possibly, that's great. You're going to want to use probably graph paper, because that way you can keep everything up and down. And since I'm standing, like this is a silhouette of me right here, I'm leaning out being a lefty. Yeah, lefties are awesome. Okay, since I'm out here like this, I'm kind of writing at an angle. See how it's at an angle? No. Make sure that you're keeping everything straight up and down. So here's that. How many times does 5 go into 40? Sam? 8. It goes in 8 times. 8 times 5 is 40. That is 0, and I'm done. Okay? No more remainders.
The decimal was 0, so you brought down the 0.
From yesterday, do you agree? Don't write this what I'm doing right now. From yesterday, do you agree that 204 is equal to 204.0? That's all that we did here. Okay? That's all we did there. We're just making it. Okay? Good? That one? Okay. I had a student on my whiteboard who couldn't stand it when I left little pieces, so I used to troll her all the time and leave little spots that she would get up and erase it. Okay, now we have to do 165 divided by 5. And because you know your divisibility rules, is that going to go into it?
Yes.
Yes, because it ends in is 5 or 0. I want you to do those without looking up here. Then when you're done, you're going to look up here to verify the correct answer. Is that okay? Beautiful.
Oh, really?
Now, if you haven't gotten an answer yet, please do not look up at the board. I wonder what would happen if I did this. No, what this? Okay. Haha, now you can't look at the board. Did you check yourself? Yeah, some of you are going to be finishing, so I put it back up there. Okay, so at the sound of it, you're all done. Who's not done yet? Okay, please stay quiet for those who are still focusing. No. Chillax. Both of you. Okay, I'm moving along. So you should have that just like that. Okay, salud. Moving down. Terminating a decimal whose digits what? A decimal, we had this yesterday, Jace. End. A decimal whose digits end. Then we have something with decimals that is repeating. When you continue dividing and the number and the number can't what? The number can't stop, like Flux Pavilion. Okay, so when repeating, when you continue dividing and the number can't stop, and that song says "can't stop" a lot, and I have two versions of that. But so when the number doesn't or can't stop, I don't know. Miley Cyrus has a remix of that song? Oh, okay. I think I've heard that song. Okay, continuing on. Is it about this? Okay, come at me later. Come at me later. All right. This line, quiet. I was hoping that I could play that song without it being too crazy. This line usually means, okay, separating between the numerator and denominator, but this is division, okay? A fraction is a decimal. The line means divide. Divide by. This here is the dividend. That's from the beginning of the notes today. This one here is the divisor. The divisor. Yes, ma'am?
How do you know if it's divided, if you're supposed to divide it, or
If it's a fraction? Every fraction actually is well, actually, every fraction is in fact a representation of a decimal as a fraction. Let me try that again. If you have 1/10 as a fraction, that's always going to be equal to 1/10, which is always equal to 1 divided by 10. Okay, that's just how those work, and that's what we're discovering today. That's a great question. All right, so we have the dividend and dividend and divisor. The dividend. Good. Yes. So we have here, notice how this guy ends up being inside. Okay? The dividend goes inside the house, I guess you could say.
Well, you made it a house. I was doing that.
No. It goes inside the house. It's a good thing you're doing your notes in pencil. Now, the dividend goes on the outside. So we have 5 does not go into 3. Do you agree? Exactly. So what we have to do right off the bat is we need to create some decimals. We need to create some decimals, but we do know that 5 goes into 30 6 times. I'm not going to insult your intelligence because I know that you know that's how it happens.
Wait, but it's not 30. It is 30.
Did you pretend the decimal point isn't there, okay? Would that make you happy?
I don't know.
Because it is there. We have the question was, one of the students said, but this isn't 30. This number here is not 30. It's 0.6. You can do 0.6 times 5 and you will have 3. I needed to get 3.0, so I did the 6 here. What would you do? What would you do if it were this? Get out of there. What would you do if it were that? Shh. This is a really great question that nobody asked today.
You would see how many times 5 goes into 30.
And how many times does 5 go into 30?
6 times.
And from what we learned, what was that? We did exponential powers. From what we did last Wednesday when we did that 10 or 1 times 10 to the second and all that good stuff. We talked about where the decimal places is and how far that goes. Okay, so it's just powers of 10. Okay, so that's 0.6, and as you know, by equivalent fractions, if we wanted to, we could have just done 6 over 10. Do you agree that 3/5 is equal to 6 over 10? You don't have to write this part right here. Don't write this part.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah, which is 0.6. Okay, and please, I can tell you guys are getting a little antsy. Please stop tapping your pencils and whatnot. When 5 doesn't divide evenly into 3, what do we do? Create a decimal. Create a decimal because it doesn't change the value. We create a decimal because it doesn't change the value of the number at all. Okay. Couple of independent practices is this. We're going to do the first two together, and then you're going to do, or we're going to do together 1, we're going to do together 2, I said that backwards, and we're going to do 5. Okay, we're going to do those 3, we're going to do those 3, and then then you guys will do the other 3 on your own, okay? So we're going to do number 1 together. I want to guide you through these. The what? The top number goes in the house. That's right. So we have top number going inside the house. We have the bottom number here. Shh. And the way to think of this is this. I know that when me and my brother were growing up, we had bunk beds, and he always got to be on the top bunk, but because he's 2.5 years older than me, and he was bigger than me then, so he would get it. Now, if there was rain coming down, and there's only room in the house for one person, who's going to get in the house? Your brother, right? My brother would be in there. So that's one way to think of it. Your bigger sibling gets the top bunk because they can beat you up, and they get inside the house because they can beat you up. Yeah? Yikes. This is what you should have for that one, and that just proves something you already knew from yesterday, that 7/10 is 0.7. Does everybody agree with me on that one?
Yep.
Okay. Next one. Now, okay. I just heard that one's easy. Oh, darn. Okay. This one is muy fácil. It's very easy. Now, I ask you this. How many people were awake 7th period yesterday? Okay? Prove me that you were awake. What's the answer here? Oh, Lainey, what you got?
I already did it. It's
Shh.
okay. So it's 0.2 repeating.
Yeah, well, close.
It would be repeating because it would be negative.
Negative 0.2 repeating. Negative 0.2 repeating. Yes.
Part, right?
You did. You got the part, and I'm so glad that a couple of you were awake. I had to refer back to this twice today, where I have like this, where have you ever seen that? Ooh, this is kind of like YouTubeception here. Wait. I'm watching YouTube of my YouTube while recording on YouTube. Oh! So you know what's going to happen. Tomorrow what we have to do is we have to watch a YouTube while watching YouTube watching YouTube. Okay. Where'd I get out of here? Okay, so that was that. I'm glad that was good. Okay. We are recording, right? Okay. Continuing on, we're going to do number 5. Now, when we have a fraction like this and we want to make it a decimal, there's two things that we could do. One of them that we're going to do is, in order to make a fraction improper, would be we multiply the denominator times the whole number, and then we add the numerator. Okay? So that would be 16 times negative 4, and because I know the distributive property, I'm going to add 24 to 40, which is 64. So it's negative 64 plus 5. Negative 64 plus 5 is negative 69. So that would be the improper fraction. Okay? That would be the improper fraction. The older sibling gets inside the house. Yes? Negative 16 plus, or negative 60. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, well, this would be, this would also be negative, that would also be negative, so I could just do it like this, there. Then the negative comes out. Thank you. Sam, you are on it. You know that? I love it. I love it. No, I want you guys to keep me honest, because sometimes I'm just trekking through this stuff and thinking about trying to get through it, hoping you guys get time to do your homework, and then I'm like, oh, I make a huge mistake, and say like 12 plus 5 is 9, you know? That happens. That happens. So, since this fraction here is negative, who can I sit you next to that you won't talk to? Okay. Maybe I'll put you in the back row. Okay. Now, because this number is negative, the first thing I'm going to do is go whomp like that and make sure that that is negative because I don't want to make a silly mistake and have it be positive. So I know that 16 goes into 69 4 times. Because I'm awesome at math? No, because it's right here. All right. So 16 times 4, once again, is 24. No?
16 times.
Good. No, it isn't. What is it? 4. 64?
Yeah.
Good.
Yes, you did.
Okay, now I've run out, and I'm not going to use a remainder because I'm not in 6th or 5th or 4th grade. There's no remainders. And I'm going to create this 0 because you get older. That's why. Okay, I bring that, okay. I bring that down, and it's 50. Yes, ma'am.
Why did you put the point there?
Point where?
The decimal point. Why did you put it there?
Because that's what we've been doing for the last 25 minutes.
I know, but I know that.
Okay.
But like, why?
Because we are not going to have remainder 5 here.
That's amazing.
We can't have remainder 5. So we have 50. Now, to think logically, I know that, let's see, change the color.
Purple.
I know that 64 is just chill. Okay? I don't care if you don't like the color. So, stop talking. Let me get through this. Thank you. I know that 64 is the product of 4 times 16, and look how close this one is to that. Look how close 50 is to 64. So without even worrying about it, without even thinking about it, what I'm going to do is change my pencil. So I'm going to do a 3 here because I know that it'll be an answer of 48 because it's 16 less than 64. Okay, 16 less than 64. Which is, then we have a 2 here. We still have remainders, so we're making another 0. But no, as a quotient, we don't have remainders. As a quotient, we don't have remainders, but we're still going to have something left over. Okay? So then 20, how many times does 16 go into 20? Here we go. You don't have any more room?
You write too many numbers.
Now, so here is where we start to wonder. Is it ever going to end? And then we ask the guy, and he says, okay, now I'm going to verify. Now, you know that you're not supposed to use calculators out here, and there's a reason why Mr. Thornberry has his out, and I'm fine with that, because I expect you guys to be able to check your work. Now, if you start to go through here and you're suspecting, yeah, I don't know if this is going to happen or not, what you can do is you can do on your calculator, if I can enunciate, you can see that it will stop. Flux Pavilion is not welcome to this party. So I'm going to continue going because I want to show my work, because I know that Mr. Smith needs me to show my work. Okay. So 40, it goes twice into 40. Twice 32. 8. Going in reverse order here. Okay. How many times does 16 go into 80, everyone? 5. And we're done. And it's great. And it's 80. Oh. Oops. There. Are there any, stop talking. Are there any questions at this point in time? Okay. So your responsibility, people at home and in class, is to finish the other 3 ones on your own and do the homework, which is the 6-1 practice, all the ones that are visible. Thank you, and bye.